and welcome back to Anti-Depressing, founded by, created by Theo. This is the show where we talk about everything from liturgy
to Lexapro. Hello, friends. We are so happy to be here. Another week in good old America. Living life.
Another day,
trying our best.
$1-ish.
Yeah, trying our best. Shout out to my multicultural peeps. Shout out to all my peeps out there that are out there doing it, living life, helping us.
Just trying
building
our
up
best.
This country that we call our own. So here we are in Anti-Depressing. And we're going to talk to you guys about everything. We're going to talk about pop culture. We're going to talk about
And by everything,
Bachelor.
we mean everything that doesn't really matter, but does matter.
Yeah. So might think
we're
to
here
yourself,
for the silly. We're here for the silly.
Is the Bachelor super important? Yeah, critical. Is the knowledge of pop culture jeopardy critical? Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk about it. But first, before we do that,
hard-hitting news.
This is the hard-hitting news
we report on,
and we gotta start it out. I'm preparing myself for the Super Bowl by shouting out "This land, the 'tis of thee," or whatever the words are to that song. I don't know.
This land is your land.
No. It's like this land.
I've been singing that all the time.
Yeah. It's like this land, the 'tis of thee. I'm preparing for the Super Bowl, and whoever's going to sing the
country 'tis of thee.
I was like, I'm literally mixing up "This land is your land" and "My country 'tis of thee." So preparing
and the national anthem. It's all becoming
whoever
one.
is going to sing that. So yeah, you guys,
they should sing "This land is your land."
They should. Honestly, it's a bop. We got a lot of stuff going on today, and we're ready to talk about it. But first off, Jasmine, how the heck are you?
I'm doing really good. I actually have a purchase I'm really excited to share.
Love.
If I could influence for a minute.
Yeah.
Actually, I was influenced. Our dear friend and devoted listener, Emily Bayrard, is the planner queen of the South. She is a type A girly and always is telling me what planner to buy. And she bought this. Look at this giant.
Wow.
Look how stunning this is.
Yeah.
It's called my
liturgical
Catholic planner. Yes.
Yeah.
From Gather and Pray. Let me just flip through this. Let me peruse.
Yeah, let's just flip through it. Maybe this can be our anti-depressing Catholic news, y'all. Yeah.
No, actually, this is anti-depressing and it is Catholic. Because let me tell you something. If you are a type A Catholic girl, it doesn't get much better than this. First, look at the stickers, which my children are like, can I play with these stickers? And I said, absolutely not ever in your life. Look how cute.
Oh my God.
We've got you go into adoration, pop it on there. You go into confession, here you go. It's a holy day, pop it on.
Wow.
You're not eating meat? Put the fish on. Call it a day, you guys. And there's a couple things I would like to highlight in here.
Okay,
namely,
hit me with it.
How cute. Major feast days, patron saint days, listed out month by month. Holy days of obligation, don't even worry about it. They're in here. Novena, start and end dates, liturgical colors by season, don't even worry. It's in there. No stress. Let me show you some other perks. They should be paying me. I can't believe I'm getting this advertisement for free.
No, love it.
It's literally, I spent my own money on this.
I love
crazy.
it. No, I love it.
It's criminal.
Mm-hmm.
But look, okay, this is the best part. If you're like I want to write it in the days of the week, but I also want to see the monthly calendar, the whole month listed there.
Oh, but
days. Look at this. Wait for the flip. And then it's the next week. Yeah. And then it's the week and it's like the to-do. Okay. And it's the list.
Okay, Jasmine. I cannot wait.
And bullet points.
I cannot wait for you to pull this out of your backpack all the time.
No, the amount of plans that will be made. If you see me this year, you will see this planner. I guarantee.
People are going to be like, Jasmine, I love that you're bringing out a college binder.
It's massive.
To schedule our dinner. to schedule the dinner at your home, you are bringing out a full-time college binder.
No, because something about me, Google Calendar, I do not know her.
Got it.
I do not know her. Chanel knows.
Google Calendar is it for me, but
only
I get
time
it.
I look in Google Calendar is to see if Chanel's free because I have her calendar on mine. That only thing in my Google Calendar is Chanel's schedule.
And
so I look and I'm like,
I live and die for my Google Calendar. If it is not in there, I did not commit to it. It is not there. I do not remember it. Yeah. I will never remember it.
So I know exactly what Chanel's doing via her Google Calendar, but I've been very scattered. I haven't had a planner since my third baby was born. And so I just haven't really known when things are happening. Yeah. And I was like, 2025, I gotta get back into it. The year turning, it was time. And so I just really feel like this is gonna boost my mental health.
It seems like it. It seems like it's gonna boost morale. Yes. Yeah. This is good.
I work well in that way. So I'm feeling good.
This is
all that is to say. I'm feeling good. I feel like I'm getting, my headspace is becoming better.
This is good. This is good.
And for those watching us, planner.
No, she has a liturgical planner. For those watching us on YouTube, Jasmine is also rocking a very cute lipstick. So it's all around just giving cute. It's giving cute. It's giving functional. It's giving not stressed.
Which is what we're trying to give.
Which is what we're trying to give. I'm doing very well. I am happy to be here. Happy to be alive. God is real, and we're just kind of doing it, like this is really good. I'm ready to just what I'm most excited about is to ask you some pop culture questions, because last week
I have no updates except I'm just excited.
I truly have no updates. Life is the same. I'm kind of like working, going to sleep, working. Yeah. But you know what? Like life is the same, but good. Some people pray for consistency. So I'm going to praise God. The fact
and that
is
my something for you.
Consistent.
Consistency is a gift for you.
Yeah. I'm like, just something that where makes a lot of sense. I did in positive news. I did go on a really cool trip last week, for, National Federation of Catholic Youth Ministry hosts this conference for youth ministers called Exchange. So it was awesome. So I got to go to the first day of that. And before that, we had a board meeting, which was really great. It was during the weekend. And it was more great too, because that was the last thing that I committed to last year that I need to do this year. So it was just
already really done.
Good to kind of be done committing to things and doing major travel, because I'm kind of ready to not travel like that for a little bit.
Yeah, just relax for a little bit.
Yeah, just kind of chillax. So other than that, though, I do have these questions locked and loaded.
Okay.
And I'm ready
I'm
to
super ready.
All right, let's do it. So here we go. Let me pull them up. First, let's play some Pop Culture Jeopardy.
Do they have
They probably have their own theme song, and I
hope it's not that one.
Pop Culture, yeah. They're probably like, you're not paying us for this. Okay, here we go. So, Pop Culture Jeopardy. Who's your favorite Chris?
Is this just a personal question, or?
Oh, sorry, no. This is
there
the category.
A correct answer?
Yeah.
Okay, I was like, yes. Wait a second.
Who's your favorite Chris? Father Chris?
Noel's Father Christopher Cranberry's at my house.
I don't know. He's in your living room.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Chris? This Chris said, you know what? There's another name you might know me by. Star-Lord.
Oh my gosh. I almost said Chris Evans, because also in the realm of Chris's in Marvel. Okay, not Chris Evans, not Chris Hemsworth.
You got it. The other Chris.
The one that's in Parks and Rec. Oh my gosh, what's his last name?
I'm looking for a name.
I know you're looking for a name. Do you ever, when you can't think of someone's name, you started with the A's and you're like, is it an A? Is it a B? Is it a C? Or is that just me?
Chris.
No, don't say it. Oh my gosh, this hurts so bad.
Boom, ding, 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 ding,
no.
ding, 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 ding. All right.
No, if you say it, it's gonna hurt so bad.
The answer is Chris Prisnat. Chris Pratt. So I knew that you knew that in your soul.
So embarrassing.
So I'll let you redeem yourself with the next one. The category is pop music.
That's sad, actually.
She spilled her guts on this second album.
Oh, Olivia Rodrigo.
Word. Got it.
Okay.
All right, here
Redemption.
we go. This one's kind of hard. Okay, so
I got the first one right and it was wrong and it was easy.
This one's kind of hard, so here we go.
Okay.
The category is celebrity relatives.
Oh.
Okay, no. Have confidence in yourself, okay? This veteran actor, okay, so think about an actor that's been acting for a long time.
Okay.
This is very hard.
No names have come to mind.
Co-starred in The Devil Wears Prada with Emily Blunt, who has since become his sister-in-law.
I do not know male actress name, as is evidenced by Chris Pratt. I know what this guy looks like, but in a million years, I don't think I could tell you his name.
He was also in The Hunger Games.
Yeah, I still couldn't tell you his name.
It's
not the girl in that movie, who I can't even think of her name.
If it is not Hoobity Boobity, Jasmine does not know it. His name is Stanley Tucci. And honestly,
I literally still don't know who that is.
And that one was very hard. And honestly, that was unfair of me. That was very unfair. And that is on your episode of Pop Culture Jeopardy for this episode of Anti-Depressing.
Oh my gosh. Last week I did really good. This was not my week, you guys.
Next week, we're going to hit Jasmine with some more hard-hitting questions.
But isn't that the story of life? Some weeks you're really riding high, and then some weeks you just can't quite get it together. You can't even remember things you once knew.
You got to know where to hold them, you know?
Gotta
know where to fold them. You know? Know when to walk away. Know when to ride. Is that the words?
I actually do not know. No.
So, all around people listening to this.
But anyways, you got to know when to give up.
Yeah,
that's
people.
It.
All around people listening are like, "Do you guys know the words to anything?" The answer is no.
No.
So,
do we know people's names?
Not knowing the words
also
to many things.
No.
The Grammys were this week.
And
many
people knew the words.
Songs nominated that we did not know the words to. We do not. But it was fun, nevertheless. Here are a few iconic moments that I had, and then Jasmine, you can tell me yours.
Okay.
A few iconic moments, obviously, Beyonce winning Album of the Year, Cuckoo Bananas. Mm-hmm. Beyonce being the first Black person, or the first Black woman to win Country Album of the Year for Cowboy Carter.
Yeah.
Cowboy Carter. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
What was another big moment for me? Definitely Kanye West and his wife. I would love to just hear your thoughts on that. It was
baffling.
Giving humiliation ritual. And then kind of my last one was probably Not Like Us.
Winning every
award, and me just wondering how Drake feels right now. So those were mine. Jasmine, what were your top moments?
Pan to Drake at his house.
Yeah, just in tears. What was yours?
I know we go to Drake at his home. He is not okay. I would say one of my favorite, I know we were like relating this to the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Last week, and it really showed up in that way. I do think first we do need to just speak for a second on the Kanye West and his fiance. Aren't they engaged now?
Yeah, I think fiance, not wife, Bianca.
His boo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Situation. For those of you at home who don't know what we're talking about, God bless you.
You don't need to Google it.
You're better
You don't
for
need
it.
to Google it.
You probably don't need to Google it, but we'll give a synopsis.
Yeah.
A little synopsis. His boo thing showed up in an absolutely see-through dress. I don't even know if you could call it see-through. In just a nothingness.
It was a sheer piece of fabric.
Yeah.
You could see full
front, nudity.
Back, under, under.
Not under. It was everywhere. The full 360. Every angle, babe.
Oh, yeah.
Just full
naked.
Wellness
exam view.
And truly, wellness exam. She stayed on that red carpet longer than should have been allowed.
For a long time.
To pose for paparazzi pictures. No, she came out of the car with a jacket on.
Fur coat. Then, yes.
Yeah, fur coat. And then dropped it on the carpet. Yeah.
And it went silent. It went absolutely silent.
And just lights flashing every time she moves.
Yeah. And it was.
Yeah, the paparazzi was going for it. And then they got escorted out.
Yeah. So, Jasmine, here are my thoughts. My quick kind of lightning thoughts are, it is very much giving a humiliation ritual.
Yes.
I believe that there has to be something happening there where Kanye just is happy to humiliate her. I don't know. There has to be something.
He's so not okay.
Something going on. It's very, very strange. So it's very much giving humiliation. And her eyes seemed like she wasn't really there. Like she seemed not with it.
Yeah, she looks not okay. I don't think you can be fully okay to show up on the red carpet like that. Either you're not okay because something's happening in that relationship, and I will not accuse anybody of anything, but we all know ish who Kanye West is as a person, so just take that all into consideration. Or she just really doesn't care what people think deeply in her soul, to the point that she's like, so I'm going to show up on the red carpet naked, knowing you're going to get escorted out. Like you can't stay, right?
No, I mean,
like you have to know that, right?
Because honestly, too, I thought, you guys, it was giving front, back, under, sideways, under. So like, even just sitting, like
I know,
there's no
like you had to know
you
weren't going to make it in.
There's no furniture you can sit on. There's nothing you can lean on.
No,
there's
nobody wants to be by you. No one's hugging you.
No one's hugging you. That's directly like everything. And hey,
everything are
we saying that the female body is not good and beautiful? Absolutely not.
No, but because it is good and beautiful, probably save that for your home. Probably the paparazzi don't need to see it.
Yeah. And just like in that context, it was not, what's the word where people say, oh man, like it's not like, it wasn't like highly artistic. It wasn't avant-garde. It wasn't avant-garde.
Yes.
Like I don't think anyone saw that and thought, ooh,
art.
Yes. But I think
I do think like, Kanye West thinks everything he does is art.
Is avant-garde.
Like even, I don't know, like all of like the trend of dressing Kim Kardashian in like the face covered, full tight, like what was happening there? Like everything he touches, he thinks turns into like golden art.
Yeah.
And I honestly, truly think he is kind of run out of things to throw a temper tantrum about, which is kind of his MO. And this gave him something to complain about. Like they kicked me out of the Grammys. And it's like, babe, no, your boo showed up in full frontal nudity. Like she had nothing on.
I think.
So you had to leave. Like
the
police said you had to leave. But now he has something to complain about. And I think some people truly are desperate enough for something to complain about that they'll just show up somewhere naked. So that then they can complain about
maybe that's the motto of the show. Maybe if you want it just enough,
you'll do whatever you have to do.
You need to do whatever you need to do.
And so honestly, he gave some beautiful irony because, to your point, like Beyonce won Country Album of the Year. And in this very like full circle moment, Taylor Swift was the one who announced her winning. And I know that the Grammy people who planned the event must have known that, they know that like they're having Taylor, who like won that award 15 years ago, give it to Beyonce, who like
15 years.
All of that happened with them and Kanye, the VMAs, for those who are not, have been under a rock forever. Like Taylor won Video of the Year, whatever. And Kanye came up, took the mic and was like, Beyonce should have won this. And Beyonce was like, dude, what is happening? And then later on, Beyonce was like, hey, I'm not going to give my speech for this other award I won, and brought Taylor up on stage and like let her give her speech she was going to give in like true Beyonce queen fashion.
It was very much giving
here's
like,
your platform.
This was weird and don't bring me into this.
Yes, like I don't want to be part of this. So then to it be the Grammys where Taylor got to give Beyonce her first album of the year in any category award, and for it to be the country album, and then Kanye to not be there because he got kicked out of the Grammys is one of the wildest full justice. Circle. Yeah, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's grace. It's the hand of God. There's so much happening in there that it just makes so much sense. But part of me is like, man, I wish you would have been in that room. Just to
I wish
sit
he would have
in
been
that
in that
guilt.
room, because I could see him just pushing past people in slow motion.
Yeah.
And I could see like I don't know. I just feel
He
like
might have done something.
Travis Kelce would have jumped out of the rafters. Who knows?
He would have been like,
know?
I'm in New Orleans at the Super Bowl prepping, but I actually showed up
But I'm
here.
also here. So honestly, you guys, the Super Bowl, the Grammys were full of great moments.
Yeah.
It was
really
outside of
strange pop culture drama.
Yeah, outside of Kanye West and his fiance, which we will keep in our prayers.
Yeah.
There were some awesome moments, like Beyonce winning a ton of awards, like Kendrick Lamar winning a ton of awards, Not Like Us being cemented in the culture as one of the best diss tracks of all time.
The first diss track to win Grammys like that.
Yeah, so there were so many good performances. Doechii, The Weeknd, who honestly just gets weirder the more he's around. I don't know. But I did hear that The Weeknd is kind of done with he's almost done with his eras. Like I think I read somewhere that he's going to be done performing music. Like I think he's going to move on to another venture.
Might be good. It's
like I feel like
had your moment and
his last era kind of freaked me out. So
yeah, he's gotten kind of intense for me.
Yeah, so I think like there were so many good performances. You know, there were so many good moments. I thought that one of my favorite moments was the LA Firefighters presented album of the year.
Sweet.
And for those that haven't been like in the news mix, which is fine because it is pretty depressing. We all know that much of California, the Los Angeles kind of area-ish, has been on fire. And has a lot of the suburbs over there have completely burnt down and do not exist anymore. So the firefighters have been doing a great work by being out there, away from their families, away from everything, and just trying to save all that they can for many people. And so it was really cool to see them, present Award of the Year or Album of the Year. And so that was like probably the coolest moment of the whole thing, I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I honestly really anticipating the Grammys, as we talked about, was just kind of worried about how they were going to do this because
there's so
LA has been like literally just on fire.
Yeah.
And I was like, how are we going to address this while we're like celebrating music? And I thought there was a lot of good moments throughout the Grammys where they were saying like, I mean, obviously a heavy focus on like, you can donate at home. Here's the QR code. Here's this. Here's the link. And like shouting out the people who were at the awards show for donating and like how much they had given and all this stuff. Like I thought there was some really good moments like that. And then the firefighter stuff was incredible. And the recognition of that and like everyone giving them a standing ovation. Like I thought that was really powerful. And then also the fact that they addressed it head on. I can't remember who it was, but somebody either in their acceptance speech or something was saying like, it's really weird that we're here tonight doing this, but like music brings so many of us together and brings so many of us comfort and peace. And like, that is we're celebrating, which I think is really true.
It is.
And I have also like heard some feedback from people that were like, kind of like Trevor Noah needs to kind of chill a little as a person. His award show stuff is just, it's getting a little stale.
I do think it's time for maybe a new host.
I think we need to shake things up. Yep. And then some people were like, you're sitting with like some of the wealthiest people in America. And I get that there are also probably wealthy people watching the award show who can donate. But I was thankful that he wasn't just like, you can scan the QR code at home, but was also like, and everyone in this room also be donating. Because the first time he said it, like, you can scan the QR code at home, I was like, Trevor, like, me?
Like, it was giving ridiculous.
I was like, you have billionaires behind you, babe. Like, what?
When you think about it, it is kind of like, someone asked me at work today, they said, Chanel, are you looking forward to the Super Bowl? And I was kind of like, yes. And they were like, yeah, I'm looking forward to the commercials. And I was like, yeah, but it feels kind of weird now. I mean, it's felt weird to me every year, but it feels weird now because I'm sitting on my couch wondering why at Aldi cheese is now $7. Seeing a commercial for Snoop Dogg, like advertising for a new, like pimped out Kia Sorento, like 2025. And I'm not going to buy that. Like nobody has the money to buy that. And like, it just feels really like nobody's down to earth where we are.
Yes.
and everyone's kind of in this imaginary world. It kind of reminds me of when Hawaii was on fire. I think it was on fire or flooded or some horrific event years ago. And The Rock and Oprah Winfrey made a video asking people to donate to relief efforts. And everyone flamed them. Like they were like,
are you?
Like it feels like that. Like it feels kind of like, but again, you guys, we are
I know that people need to promote it.
Exactly.
And they need to, but sometimes it does feel like that. And I hope they raised so much money. For the fire. Like I hope they did. And I hope that people at home were like engaging with that. But it is very interesting to hear that from people who, are in such an extremely different tax bracket than you, being like, on your couch, get involved, donate. And you're I
how
barely bought groceries this week.
So that's
it's very interesting. Very interesting.
Very much giving capital. But we're here for the pop culture lore.
We're here for the lore.
Yeah.
And I do think by far my favorite Grammys moment was definitely just Kendrick Lamar like sweeping every category. I think that's so well deserved. And I think it is actually so crazy how many people in the crowd were singing the lyrics to Not Like Us while he went up to do the acceptance. And everybody was like, he walked so slow onto that stage. He wanted as much of that song to play so that everybody could sing.
As would I.
And I just know, for those who don't know, Drake and Kendrick Lamar have been beefing for quite some time now, writing tracks back and forth. Not Like Us, Kendrick's diss track to Drake, is now like a 5-time Grammy winning song, which is so wild. And now Drake knows all of his peers are very into that song and all about it, even though they know it's a diss to him, because they were all screaming it at the top of their lungs and dancing when Kendrick won. So
and you guys
what a week for Kendrick Lamar, because he won all these Grammys and is now performing at the Super Bowl.
Oh no.
Like, and that thing Drake is weeping. Drake is shaking.
So corny too, because he's corny, because he's suing Universal Music Group for Not Like Us being so popular. Boo, so corny. And then
people were like, he's gonna sue everyone at the Grammys.
He's gonna sue the whole Grammys. And then he had a concert yesterday where he came out with smoke behind him and a bunch of bullet holes in his shirt, like little holes that look like bullet holes. And I was like, Drake, that is so
my
corny.
gosh.
And then he got on stage and he was like, I'm very much alive, Drizzy Drake. And I'm like, Drake, it's okay, babe. Like,
no, it's so silly.
It's okay that you just kind of are not victorious in this.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but essentially Kendrick wrote like one line about Drake that wasn't like that crazy. And then Drake got really defensive about it and wrote the whole song about Kendrick. And then that's how Not Like Us was a response to that.
Okay, yeah. So it's
Is that true?
It's very,
I know it's been like a long time in the making.
Yeah. It's very, very long lore. But it's
giving Drake like overreacted.
Oh yeah, the long and short of it is,
and now it has become this.
Yeah, the long and short of it is that it was. A lot of people are talking about like who is the best rapper, who are the best rappers like alive, right?
As we always are.
As people do, like who are the best rappers alive? People will put Drake in there, which is kind of insane to me. People will put Drake's like a good entertainer, but like let's be serious. People will put Drake in there. People then people start putting like J. Cole in there. Okay, that's legit. People put Kendrick Lamar in there. That's legit. And for everyone that's like, oh, okay, what is this even? He's a Pulitzer Prize winning rapper. So like, let's talk about using his pen to write actual meaningful things, you guys. He won a Pulitzer Prize. So let's not be critical. If
put some respect on his name.
Put some respect on his name. So essentially people started talking about the best rapper ever. The long and short of it is J. Cole came out with a song called First Person Shooter. In that song, J. Cole talks about the big three, which is him, Drake, and Kendrick Lamar. And then Kendrick Lamar was featured on a song with Future, where Kendrick Lamar said, which I will not say the first word, but he said, F the big three, it's just big me. And then everybody was like, cool. Great. So
Let's fight.
he just essentially is like, it's not the three of us. I'm really kind of just the best.
In a category of my own, he said.
Yeah, he's in a category of his own. So then after that, Drake was like, okay, that sounds great. Let's do it.
He said, we're going to fight.
Okay, so then Kendrick was like, okay, let's do it. And essentially Kendrick dropped a new song every day for like 4 days. And it was kind of crazy. And Drake would drop a song and then Kendrick would immediately drop a song. Not Like Us was very crazy because on the album art for Not Like Us, it is a Google world view of Drake's home.
Yeah.
With a bunch of little bodies in it, like profile icons that they show on websites for people that are not appropriate with young people. So essentially, he's was really
making a big accusation.
And
in the lyrics, he's making bigger accusations. Yeah.
And essentially, it really kind of like the album art spoke for itself. That was like that was a whole diss, just the album art.
Yeah.
And so essentially Not Like Us is kind of crazy. And when it came out, he also collaborated with the DJ Mustard, who's from the West Coast, as he is. They're both from Compton. And Drake has been wanting to work with DJ Mustard for a long time. And DJ Mustard has not. And then DJ Mustard came out with a song called BBL Drizzy, which, you guys, the lore is just... So people have been saying
crazy
for a long time that Drake has had body modification surgery. As in, if you ever Google a picture of Drake's abs, they look like sketches.
They're
like it doesn't look like people act. It looks like some doctor went in there and just put little rectangles under his skin and made abs. So it doesn't look good. It doesn't look real. So people have been calling him BBL Drizzy, saying he got a BBL. Like he has had body modification. So they came out with a song last year called BBL Drizzy. It is one of the best songs I've ever heard. DJ Mustard did play it at a festival, and it just the beef just kept on going. So now with Not Like Us,
it's gotten out of control.
It's kind of gotten out of control,
and now it's winning Grammys. Like that's crazy.
It's kind of crazy. And with the Super Bowl, Kendrick is playing the Super Bowl halftime show with SZA, which is going to be crazy. And honestly, I cannot, like, Jasmine, I don't know if we're really ready for him. I don't know if he's going to do Not Like Us at the Super Bowl halftime show, but I
just think he's unapologetic about it. I think
that's the most captive audience probably in America in one day, right?
At one concert. Yeah.
Like there's probably never a day that more
as like a one-off.
Yeah.
And I think he is it just won 5 Grammys. Like he's not ashamed of it. Like nobody plays diss tracks at the Super Bowl like that. You know, even like when Eminem played, he wasn't like, you know what, I'm going to play like some of my diss tracks. Like nobody's doing that. But also nobody's diss tracks are their most popular songs normally.
Yeah.
You know, they're normally like kind of random. And just like on the album. So this is unprecedented times.
So this is unprecedented. As you guys have thought, have we lived in enough unprecedented times? Well,
this is the most unprecedented.
This is the most unprecedented is that we are going to see what happens on Super Bowl Sunday, and we'll talk about it next week for y'all.
I'm very eager.
And we're very eager. So congrats to Kendrick.
The drama continues for
Rest
Kendrick.
in peace to Drake.
For real.
And for real.
And that was essentially the Grammys.
Was just everyone going online and immediately listening to Not Like Us.
But they were literally like 5-hour song.
Yeah.
But that was the tops.
Yep. And so for our last story,
yes, please.
I think it would be good to just touch point on something a lot of people have been talking about this week.
Yes.
Matt James broke up with Rachael Kirkconnell. If these names do not sound familiar to you, that's okay. Welcome to the land of the living. They didn't to me either.
This was before I was in the mix.
Yeah, he was the former Bachelor. He was not super well liked. He was giving kind of weird. He kissed with his eyes open. People did not love that.
No.
If you ever Google that, whenever he would kiss anyone on the show,
I'm Googling it now.
He absolutely had his eyes wide open. It was very strange. So,
no.
Yeah, so he broke up with his girlfriend Rachael Kirkconnell, who in controversy, they broke up during the finale of The Bachelor. And then they got back together because of some stuff she did. And then they got back together. And so they have been dating for 4 years. And he broke up with her via an Instagram post. He posted on Instagram a prayer to God, asking for God to bless. Okay, do you see the picture?
No,
Okay.
this is crazy.
Eyes wide open, Jasmine.
He looks like someone who's gonna murder you.
Eyes wide open.
Eyes, like he looks like he's like hunting. You know what I'm saying? Like when someone locks eyes and they're like,
like it's
that.
so spooky, dude. So
it's so much eye.
So like 2 weeks ago, you guys, Matt James broke up with Rachel Kirkconnell on
Wow, that's actually really intense.
Instagram is very intense.
No, I'm like unsettled. I need to put that away. Okay.
And he broke up with her on Instagram with a prayer. Let me read the prayer to you.
Please.
Father God, give Rachel and I the strength to mend our broken hearts. Give us peace about this decision to end our relationship that transcends worldly understanding. Shower our friends and family with kindness and love to comfort us, and remind us that our joy comes from you, Lord. Broken heart emoji.
The crazy thing about this, from when I was reading from like the clips that she did, because she went on Call Her Daddy, the podcast, and she was saying like they, got in this fight that seemingly wasn't that big of a deal. He made it a bigger deal and was like, I just don't think you have the characteristics of someone I want to marry. They've been together for 5 years. Crazy behavior. Like, I just don't think I can see myself being married to you. Essentially, like, ended the relationship. She was then getting on a flight from London, going to be on a plane for 12 hours. She hadn't told her family or anyone yet. And then all of a sudden starts getting all these texts from people as she's about to take off that were like, oh my gosh, I saw Matt's post. I'm so sorry that you guys broke up. And she's like, we like just decided this 30 minutes ago. And then she looks at the post and then they take off and she can't use her phone for 12 hours. Can't even respond to all those people. And like he knew that, which is kind of criminal,
It's giving. I think we're starting and we're ending this episode on two different versions of a humiliation ritual. It's the same kind of vibe. Mm-hmm. It's like humiliation, and in some way this like weird kind of like desire for it.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that this man doesn't know that is tragic, dude.
No, he knows.
Like, who does that? First, posting on social media after a breakup, you guys, like, it's actually not necessary. You can actually,
unless you're going to tell us the full story, don't
post it. I was just talking with someone about this the other day. I thought, sometimes I feel like people online do owe me things. When you show a lot about your relationship, I almost feel like you owe me a full explanation of the breakup.
Yes.
But it's also just not necessary to post like full-blown things like that.
You don't actually owe that to people.
But secondly, too, like, just as a person, to post a prayer breakup, I don't know. Maybe I'm just a little triggered by it, but I'm also just kind of like, it's just giving weaponizing prayer. Like, why would you post? I mean, maybe he meant it. I'm not reading his soul and his spirit. But
yeah. And I know he has claimed he's like very religious and such. I have a really hard time with someone who's very religious, stringing someone along for 5 years and then being like, you just don't have the characteristics I want in a wife. Which, like, you kind of know that within a few months of knowing someone. That feels very like, I discerned this, I prayed about this, you don't have the characteristics, but like that shouldn't take you 5 years. It's giving like there's another reason and he just wanted to use that excuse so he sounds good.
And the way that I would check out, the way that I would lose my mind. Like, I would imagine 5 years to somebody and then they say like, I just don't think you have the characteristics of somebody. Yeah. You break up, you get on a plane, you're going to the airport. She already had this flight. So she's heading to the airport. She had to get back home for a family member's event. And then you just have a bunch of people being like, what? It's not even a collaborative post on Instagram. It's just like you posting it and then turning your comments off. Like, huh?
Yeah. But then being like, Rachel and I could use your prayer. Like, you're saying it's like both of you made this decision, both of you posted this together, but it wasn't that. Like, it wasn't a mutual thing. Well, and I think this is crazy too. She said like 4 to 5 days after It was 1 a.m, and she woke up and saw that he called her. She called him back and he asked how she was doing. And so she like confronted him about the post, said that really sucked, and he admitted he could handle it a lot better. Why are you calling your ex-girlfriend that you just broke up with 4 or 5 days earlier at 1 a.m?
It's giving nighttime guilt.
Let's normalize not calling your ex after you break up with them.
Every once in a while, I'll go to sleep and my stomach starts to hurt because I just start feeling guilty about something. And that thing pains me until I reach out to that person or I do that thing that I'm feeling weird about. And then from there, I just learn not to do that thing anymore because the guilt haunts me. And it's just giving nighttime guilt because he knows that that was so weird.
Yes. And I do think people sometimes, they like don't want to be with you, but they also don't entirely want you to be with someone else. And they can't really decide if they want to be with you. So sometimes after a breakup, people will like, right now it might be 4 or 5 days later. He calls in the middle of the night and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Then it'll be a couple months later and it'll be like, oh, I just missed talking to you. Then it'll be a year later and it'll be like, oh, well, and then when you try to respond, they will be like, well, I didn't mean it like that. I'm not trying to like be in a relationship with you. I just was like, but like, then why are you calling me? We were together for 5 years. Like what's happening now? Like, why are you trying to still linger?
And that's on boundaries, you guys.
Yeah. And I think the wildest thing of this whole thing.
Hit me with it.
Is that she said, I don't want people to think he's a bad guy. Rachel, babe.
We do.
We do.
It's too late,
sorry.
Babe. You missed
and we
it.
don't know his side. And so I will, I always speak to that every story has 2 sides. There's always multiple dynamics. I would love if he went on a podcast and explained his side so that we could hear him out. And that would be great. But the way she is presenting it, which is the only side we have right now, it's just like, if you don't want us who don't know him and don't know his soul the way you do, Rachel, if you don't want us to think he's a bad guy, you truly shouldn't have told us this stuff. Because now we do think he's a bad guy.
It's too late. We think he's a bad guy and we think he did a bad thing.
And Chanel, you can speak to this because you're the queen of, if your friends tell you something about someone, then it's like, I've washed my hands clean to this.
Which
like,
many of my friends say that's maybe like a little bit of a toxic trait I have. But I am very much like,
well,
I am very much like, if I still remember people that my friends have told me have hurt their feelings, family members, their friends, and I do not like those people.
No.
And it could be years from now, and I still do not like those people. And that's just a me thing. And that's a toxic trait that I have. And I think that Rachel made a choice by going on a podcast and sharing her grief. And she let us in on it. And now we think that Matt made a bad choice. And maybe one day he'll be on the other end. But for now, the lesson that we learned from this is set boundaries with the person that you're with.
Yep.
Set expectations. Set those conversations. Yes. If you're with someone for 5 years, and Rachel kept saying in an interview that she was like thinking they were going to get engaged, thinking they were going to get engaged. They talked about having kids. They talked about getting married. I don't know about ultimatums. I think that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah.
But we need to be setting terms, time limits. Yep. Because that's like pretty nuts. And then the second lesson is, sometimes it's good not to process something online.
Yep.
If something happened to you, you can process it with a professional, with a mental 100%. Health professional, with your friends, with the family, with some trees in the woods, not online. Sometimes things don't need to be processed there first.
Yep.
So I think those are our takeaway thoughts from this episode is process things in a healthy way. Sometimes not online first, which is probably the healthiest thing.
Agreed.
And and we love you guys. And next week we're going to hit you guys with the Super Bowl, The Bachelor, and so many other things. And we can't
so much more.
So we love y'all.
It's been great, y'all.
Yeah, the world might be a little bit depressing.
But we are not.
We're really not. Love you guys.
Love you. Bye.